Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Doggo333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, Kalterkrieg. My phone dropped, damn it. Need to get the timer going. Well, welcome back to Kalterkrieg as New England. Now, last time we were here together, I figured what exactly we were doing, I'll be honest. It's been a little bit, let's see. Last I recorded was Thursday. I did a pretty big stream on release day. On the 4th, celebrated American independence from the British, and British independence from the Tories. That's more of a cheeky joke there. A bit of stuff happened while I was away. Apparently the mod went down, which was a little crazy, from a DMCA strike. I'll get more steel going. So that was a little crazy. And then it came out, it got fixed, and then a hotfix was released, which apparently invalidated all the saves. So I had to do a little bit of a reload here to get things back and established. But it's okay. We are back at it. I'm trying to think what changed in the world. I think a different government got elected in Canada. Still same in the rest of the Americas, it looks like. The Tories are, or I guess the Brits, not really the Tories, are still hanging in there. And then Germany, I don't really know what to look for there. I don't know. I think it's all mostly the same, I want to say. Let's do atomic bile. I think I did a little bit of different research focused on some new planes and such. So it's a little changed up. Yeah. Middle Africa capitulates in Madagascar. Oh shit, let me look at this. Would you look at that? Huh. It's pretty nutter butters right there. But interesting. Anyhow. What are we looking at over here? Ooh, we could propose reduction in steel tariffs, or reduction in coal tariffs. Let's do a steel tariff reduction. While much of the former U.S. is rich in steel, Canada was consistently importing this vital construction material during the Second Weltkrieg. The new members in the Caribbean and Central America have little of this precious resource. Lowering trade barriers is an excellent way to stimulate development across NATO. I'll vote yes. Everyone votes yes. There we go. Massachusetts Republican popularity in Massachusetts. There we go. It's actually not what we want. Dang it. Oh well. Let's see, we've got the Morgenthau plan, it looks like. We'll get working towards this slowly but surely. But I want to start on the Morgenthau plan first, because this seems interesting. Well, the Democratic Party is standing victorious after the 1949 election. Henry Morgenthau Jr. has been appointed Secretary of Treasury. Morgenthau has developed an economic plan that involves combating corruption in the new states and creating new social plans for the poor. Legislation in Philadelphia. Interesting indeed. So this is going to auto-complete something for us. As a new Harriman administration gets settled in on Beacon Hill, New Secretary of State Dean Acheson faces tough choices at the State Department. New England's foreign policy has been ramshackled for that decade that it has existed. Mr. Acheson has been determined to change that. The physical expansion of the bureaucracy has gone alongside New England's expansion for global power. Built on the ruined foundation of the U.S., the New England State Department has had to work with a smaller pool of qualified diplomats to draw from and faces larger diplomatic challenges than the U.S. ever did. The first of these issues has been the whole issue of the American successors. The Ottawa Protocols have made it easier work with the PSA and Great Lakes government, but the existence of an opposition American state, which is stronger economically and militarily, is an unprecedented development. Because New England and the AUS do not recognize each other and have not exchanged ambassadors, it has been difficult to keep the peace for the last 7 years. It has taken skillful maneuvering in back channels and a good amount of luck to prevent a third American Civil War from breaking out thus far. It will take more luck to prevent it in the coming decade. New England's relationship with Canada and Europe is also brand new. In the interwar years, America was an economic backer for the Entente, but to a limited degree. While many New Englanders wish they could put the full weight of their economy into helping the Accord powers in Europe, it has proven more difficult than expected. Between needed commitments to defend against the Union State and New England's limited resources as a fraction of the former United States, South France, and the UK have often felt wanting for more support from New England. Despite these challenges, the New England State Department has proven up to the task. Plans for espionage around the Union State are being drawn up, and designs for an underground railroad to penetrate south have proven very promising. In addition, as the economy in the lands of the former combined syndicates recovers, New England's ability to project power across the Atlantic and support our Accord allies has never been stronger. It will take an incredible will to achieve these goals, but they are what is necessary in this coming decade. Good luck, Mr. Secretary. So that completes the Acheson Doctrine. Yeah, I'll go ahead. Swap over to open borders. Member entry of the Spanish Republic, we say. I will vote yes. Let the Spaniards in. And then what do we want from here? I was going to go and read this. That's right, the Acheson Doctrine. Now that Republicans are out of office, Dean Acheson has been appointed Secretary of State by President Harriman to assist our allies through non-combatant means and diplomatically isolate and contain the AUS. What does Dulles want to do? Well, that sounds a little bit more interesting, but we'll be okay with that. The Acheson Doctrine, I think. Interesting. Let me check, see what that's about. Doesn't exactly elaborate much, but that's alright. History was made today as Harvard became the first Ivy League university to admit women into its prestigious law school. If all goes well during their studies, then the 12 women will be part of the graduating class of 1953. Women's rights activists and reform-minded educators have praised the Harvard administration for taking what they describe as a major step in providing equal access to higher education for men and women. About time, I say. Good on them, if you ask me. Yeses, there we go. What do we got? After being dispatched by Congress in the aftermath of New Jersey and Pennsylvania statehood, Delaware Commission was a fact-finding mission led by bureaucrats and academics to assess the economic situation of the new states. The commission presented its reports to Congress, the Department of Commerce and Interior, and of course the Office of President. The Joint Congressional Committee on Mid-Atlantic Statehood was gavelled back into session to question the chairman of the commission, John Kenneth Galbraith. The results are not good. The economic situation of the new states is quite poor. The infrastructure is in a bad state. Businesses that have either left or suffer from lack of goods. Even if certain businesses do have goods, they are price gouging their customers because there's not enough competition. The Commission recommends massive investment in the region to revitalize the area. However, even if these projects are undertaken, it's clear that the economic boom we've experienced in the last few years is at an end. There's much work to be done. Dang it. Democrats gain in polls in Connecticut. So it's given the proper boost, but it should be... Yep, there we go. Welcome, Allies of Liberty. As racial tensions rise in New England, many African-American activists have been looking for an outlet for input within the executive branch. Little did they know that that stage had been set in an almost clandestine manner with the informal creation of the Black Cabinet. While New England's government has specifically avoided hiring people of color since its inception, it hasn't shown a significant interest in it either. This changed, however, under the oversight of Secretary of the Interior Harold Ikes, who began a process of hiring African Americans to advisory positions within the executive branch. What began as a few appointments has now become a significant voice of representation for the African American community at the highest level of government. This so-called Black Cabinet has placed dozens of African Americans in places where their voices and contributions could be seriously heard. While this began as a secretive project by Ikes, it has now become a beacon of hope for many civil rights activists who felt otherwise unrepresented in the government they were trying to influence. A voice of power for the unheard. Quarter growth report. All right. How are we doing construction-wise? We're coming along. Delaware Commission has been passed. Look at that. We also got the Morgenthau Plan. Living conditions in new states may have stabilized. Current economic situation is a bit of a mystery. We should establish an economic commission to assess the current conditions of infrastructure and businesses in new states located in Delaware River Valley. Well, it's not the best, let me tell ya. Establish CIA. Let's get working on some of this. First, let's curb Canadian influence. In 1937, the 6 regional governors asked the Canadian Prime Minister Mackenzie King to help secure our southern border. For 6 months, the Canadian Occupation Authority took control of our independent country without the consent of many of our citizens. While we wish to remain on good terms with Canada, we must curb Canadian influence so it is not to be seen as a mere proxy state. There we go. Now that President Harriman has returned to the Democrats to Beacon Hill, he has appointed Henry Morgenthau Jr. to his cabinet as Secretary of Treasury. While his predecessor did not have a chance to overhaul New England's economy, budget, and tax cuts left the Harriman administration tightening its belt in the face of all it wants to accomplish. As a veteran of New England's Federal Farm Board and advisor to the Walsh administration, Secretary Morgenthau was an easy pick for Harriman's cabinet. His agenda, referred to as the Morgenthau Plan, will focus on aggressive fiscal efficiency to get the most out of the expanded government programs without incurring a deficit while utilizing his position to combat corruption in New England. Secretary Morgenthau's strategy will involve expanding government programs that target New England's poor citizens. As a conservative Democrat, Morgenthau's push only calls for moderate increases in budgeting for welfare programs and instead focuses on increasing funding for primary and secondary education. He plans to balance New England's budget so that the government can properly care for its citizens while paying off its debts instead of growing them. He hopes to cooperate with businesses by encouraging investing in foreign countries across the accord so that New England can secure the resources it needs to prosper. Furthermore, Morgenthau's plan involves utilizing the Treasury to examine tax records of suspected criminals. This collaboration between the Treasury and law enforcement will allow the government to arrest high-ranking criminals on financial charges, which cannot be shifted to a fall guy. An abridged memo, the Morgenthau plan, meant for Harriman's advisors, leaked to the press. The outline of the fiscal policy of the Secretary of Treasury Morgenthau for 1950-1958. Balance the national budget by increasing taxation on the highest brackets and eliminating redundant spending. Then utilize the new budgets efficiently by targeting highest need areas of funding. Cement New England's position as a source of international trade by encouraging investments across the accord. Empower the Treasury to utilize law enforcement to target the corruption and crime elements. Finally, reduce inflation and utilize the nation's gold reserves to stabilize the value of the dollar. While President Harriman's goals might stretch the boundaries of Morgenthau's balanced budget, the Morgenthau plan has garnered bipartisan support for its moderate, business-savvy spending habits. With the growing importance of the Accord in New England's foreign policy, it is now up to Congress to decide whether or not these policies will be signed into law. The dollar will be as good as gold. So we got a couple options. We can create the Massachusetts Port Authority. That seems pretty reasonable to me. We can expand the Bangor Steel Mill as well. Let's get it. Interesting. Got some decent options going. I like it. And let's go ahead. Do we want to get working on this yet? Let's do land cultivation. And we're just about done with all of our boats. So we'll build convoys for now. Good old convoys. We could promote tourism on Cape Cod. It's tempting, but I don't know if we want to. Quite yet. We still want to keep some civilian factories going. Again, I know what that's supposed to be, but it's Savinkov has died. Oh, snap. Now we have the Troika. Japanese handover of Malaya. Interesting. I don't know how much of an actual... Oh, shit. Guess we're doing a lot better than I remember. That's not volunteers here, right? Yeah, I did. Oh, shit. Guess I forgot how. I got mixed up with the last game. There we go. Civil Rights Congress held its first national conference this week and chose Harlem's very own Hotel Teresa as its venue. Civil rights activists from across New England came together to discuss a variety of issues regarding race and their growing movement. Despite conservative pundits claiming the CRC is nothing more than a singless sleeper cell, the conference is taking a surprisingly moderate domestic stance in favor of looking south. While the CRC's leaders all agree that the fight is far from over in the Northeast, the focus on the convention was on the plight of their brothers and sisters within the AUS. CRC leadership made a call for liberation and solidarity with African-American communities down south and began to raise awareness of the police brutality and segregation that they suffer daily. Though many still believe the problems at home must be solved before looking abroad, the media is now abuzz with talks about how the CRC becoming a potential asset in finding allies within the AUS to help crack the longest regime. They seem much more complacent. Interesting indeed. Any good businessman will tell you that they only hire the best candidate for their employees. After all, only the most qualified people should be considered for a role, and any politician worth his salt should tell you that only the most capable people should be put in leadership positions. But as New England comes to terms with its new racial reality, people have begun to question who exactly are the best people for any given role. Conservative leaders in both the political and business sectors will be quick to point out that integration for integration's sake is a meaningless gesture that deprives customers and constituents of the highest quality results. Progressive pundits, on the other hand, will point out that actively overlooking minority candidates is akin to ignoring the applications of potentially superior candidates. While the tides have generally... When do you stream? I stream pretty often. Blue Haven Gaming. Hello, by the way. How you doing? Progressive pundits, on the other hand, will... Oh, shit, I read it. While the tides have generally been in favor of integration in New England, it's clear that conservatives of the upper class have had a significant impact on national hiring practices. Even with New England's obvious white majority, the people of color are massively underrepresented in the workforce, even more so in the business sector and the political sphere. And while the call for integration has never been louder, it is blatantly clear that New England is still not above these de facto segregation tactics. With little to no regulation in hiring practices at the national level, there's very little anyone can do but take the employers at their word when they say that they're only hiring the best. This trend mirrors the lily white movement from the 1880s, where the Republican Party began to curry favor with Southern politicians by ousting black politicians from their posts. And while this new wave of lily whites is more focused on the private sector, it exposes the dark underbelly of New England's systemic issues with racism and discrimination. Same old hate, different place. I'm shocked Dogman has an IRL face. Yes, I do. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see that, go ahead. Follow the Twitch. You'll see the face cam. Do I want to get? That's only 180 days. I'll get the working on that now. Corrupt Canadian influence. I wouldn't mind. I might want to go down some of this. I think I'll go ahead and do the highway plan first. Yeah, National Highway Plan. Since the invention of the automobile, the way New England citizens travel has drastically changed. By building a national highway across New England, our citizens can rapidly travel across our beautiful country. Democrats gain in Vermont, though it's Republicans gaining. I know what it's supposed to be, but conservative Democrats affected in Jersey. I don't hate that too much. Potentially we'll get a chance to upset things. We still have more popularity in Mass, which I think Mass is going to be the one to keep our eye on the most. Let's improve machine tools. And then, again, that's not the right one. I know what it means. I do know what it means. It's not much of a shock, but Tanganyika. Ooh. The end of Middle Africa. Let's take a look at that. Oh, boy. Whew. That is brutal. Okay, does South Africa have a tree? It does not. Anyhow, I guess it's time to go ahead and leave things there, folks. Thanks always for watching. Like if you like, dislike, but didn't. Leave any comments, feedback down in the comment section below. I read all comments, get appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Hit the sub button for the notification bell to keep up to date with all these uploads. Come up weekdays as well as occasionally Saturdays. Check out my various links down in the description below, including Twitch, this was filmed on live. And yeah, that's it for now, my friends. I thank you all for watching. My name has been Mr. Dogboat 33. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.